Hello. I'm doing a little video to show you if anybody's considered buying one of these little bias binding feet. I didn't know how well they'd work or anything. Well, I really like mine. It won't do a quilt or anything because this part here doesn't have the depth to separate to get a quilt in there. But all I'm doing today is turning one of my blackjack hairdressing towels. I'm sure you're all familiar with these for colours. Mine are, sadly, redundant. And I'm just turning them into finger wipes, like napkins. Because I'm a messy pup when I eat. And I always get something somewhere. Spilt a drink over last night. Wouldn't have been big enough for that, but there you go. So yes, you can do them and back them with cotton and turn them. But just for ease, and so I can play with my foot. You've got to play with these gadgets when you get them, haven't you, really? I'm using it. What I do, I always put the fabric in first. You know, if you're making a bias tape maker, if you're using one, sorry, and you pull it through with a pin, I recommend doing that with these. These are homemade, cut on the bias. And I think you would all probably know, because I've seen some of your work and it's incredible. But just in case somebody doesn't, you cut fabric on a 45-degree angle. And I like to do it with, if I've got any waste fabric from making an outfit. You always get something that's been cut on the bias. I just chop it up. This one, I think I cut out. It's small. It's about an inch and a half, which is not quite, it's just over 3 centimetres according to my table. So you cut it, you fold it in two to get a central line, and then you fold that one to that line, that one to that line, not quite touching, and then you keep folding and you put the iron on. And I'm actually quite good with just putting the iron and twiddling my fingers and bringing it down. So that's what I do with mine. So I put it on the foot. Oh, and I've taped my lights up with frog tape so you can see what I'm doing, because usually it really glares. Oh, right. With the towels, sometimes it goes a little bit clunky when you go over, you know, when you have a little straight line that's woven. That gets really clunky. And if as you're going round it gets considerably clunky, you can pretty much guarantee you've got a jersey needle on. Because I just did it on this one. This is why I thought I'd show you, because I have started. It will stitch it on one side and the other, and when you practice on something like this, it's great for getting your needle position set and everything. I don't think you'd do it on a quilt unless you were in a hurry and you had a lot to do. I know a lady that has that to do. But for something like this, it's a joy just to practice. Gets it really close to the edge. And I did actually miss a bit. Look. So all I do is go back in. If your bobbin runs out, it's quite good, because all you do is take the foot off, take the bind off, change your bobbin, put it back through, and pull your thread back through, hold the bottom thread, and just start sewing again. So it's quite good for that as well. Right. So I've got my machine threaded up. That's gone through to the back already. And if you remember when you cut on the bias, when you cut a straight line across here, it's also on the bias. It's only if you cut it on the straight and then do an angled line, that's on the bias. But that piece there is on the bias. So if you want to finish off without having to fold it through, and it gets very, very fiddly with something like this, just put it straight down. Just take it out, put it straight down and stitch it down. So this is now set at 1, suppose, no. Yeah, 1 centimetre maybe. Here. Here. It says 1 centimetre. You can roll this thing up and down, and that bar comes across and holds the fabric in exactly the right place for the width of fabric you're using when it's double. And you can release the position a little bit with this one. So it really is worth having a little play. And if you're anything like me, what's a little play between a machine or two? Marvellous. Right, so I've got that in, and I keep my bias tape all tidy and out of the way. I'll put it over here somewhere usually. And then as I get that in, I'll put it halfway along the straight. And it can take a bit of easing and just flossing. Give it a floss. In you go, little beauty. There we go. And we're off. So, needle down. And the setting changed because I had to move the machine. Forgive me just a moment while I play again. This will be a treat, won't it? See Lizzie get it wrong. Here we go. I hope you can see this. So what I'm doing, I hold the fabric up against the centre line on my, I've just got a light here somewhere, go on the bias fabric there. I think you get the picture. I don't pull it, I don't tug it. I'll fold it over a little bit. I usually hold my ends so they don't get into a knot. Go on, please go in. Thank you. Hold your ends so they don't get in a knot. And this is where you'll do 1 or 2 stitches slowly. And that looks perfect on that slot. So here we go. Wow, yeah, that is really close to the edge. I'm going over 1. So I haven't stitched it right on the edge, although you can, especially if you're just going to cover it up. You know, you take it out and finish it off like you would a quilt. It's just, if you want to fiddle around doing your 45-degree cut so you've got less bulk, I wouldn't recommend it when you've got a piece of fabric this small. And if it was a gift, if I was making these for a gift, then I would do it. Because I'm a little bit fussy like that. But as they're for me, just because I'm a mucky pup, because I certainly wouldn't do them in blackjack towels. if they were a gift. But the control you get from the foot, when you get your setting right, as long as you give it a bit of time, right, I'm going to finish needle down, if I can find it. I'm going to have to move you backwards. 1, 2, 3, hop. Feel alright? Good. Needle back down. Just bring it round gently. Don't turn it too much because you're only going round a bend. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not really, but no comments. Be kind. Right, I go really slow. I usually do about 3 stitches. And that was 5. And give it another little tweak. Foot down. Gently round the bend. 3. Foot up. Gently round the bend. Because I've just slightly curved these off. Which is where it's different from the ones you're doing on your proper quilt. Here we go. I've got it held into the centre line. And I'm just putting a tiny little bit of tension on there. Not so it's pulled. Just so it's in a straight line. Would you please get in there? Thank you. There we go. Round and round. Very nice. I'm not going to go all the way round, but I will give you the general idea. Because the light's fading and I can't see very much. And I actually started this to try and stop me going to sleep. Because I couldn't get an online delivery last night. We've got to self-isolate. And so I thought, I know, I'm going to wait till it goes midnight. And then the slot for the Saturday, which is next week, will become open. And I'll be able to get a delivery at least next week. So we won't starve. So I waited till midnight and it went past midnight. And then I watched that beautiful Catherine Jenkins concert. I missed it when it was live. But, oh, wasn't she a treat? And she was just so real with her little daughter in the background. So, yeah, I did that. And I stayed awake till about 5:30, 6 o'clock, till the man came down. And I said, you take over. Because I need to go to sleep. But you see, I am one of those people that can stay up all night. And indeed, I used to party all night long. Thanks to my little brother having a club. And I used to go out on a Saturday night at about 9, 10 o'clock, which is now when I go to bed usually. And I used to come home at about 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. So I have qualifications in staying awake. My whole family's the same. I always said we're night owls. And one of my lovely clients said to me, I don't know about night owls, I think your mother gave birth to a colony of bats. Oh yeah, happy Mother's Day. She is a darling. So yes, that's why I'm looking so wide awake. And my voice is just as clear as Catherine Jenkins. Bless her. Right, we're just getting out of this next corner now. So you can see, you can actually chat and do and fiddle. And when you've played with it a couple of times, it's really quite fun. I did it on, I don't know if any of you saw the doll that I made for my niece Jodie. Oh, try her meditation. It's on the wall. Fabulous. That saw me asleep. I didn't watch it today in case I did go. Yeah, I made her a little dolly. And the clothes I made, all the neckline, and, oh, excuse me, drawer, and round the arms, I did it all in this tape like that. And it was such fun. It really is good fun. And they do work. So this is the point I'm trying to make for anybody. I'm not selling them, I don't sell them. I know a lady called Natasha that sells sewing machines, so I'm sure you all remember her. As if we could forget. keeping us company for years. So yeah, have a word with the lady that does. I'm going to take it out and show you, because then I can always start it off again, because it is only for me. So what I do when I get to the end bit, you see, I'll cut it just after, and then I'll take it out like this, fold the end under, possibly. If not, I will have taken it off this foot and I'll just stitch it straight back down. Missed a bit. That's from gassing. But on the whole, they're pretty good, aren't they? And so all I'll do, really, I mean, that one, there was just a tiny bit on the underneath that I missed, because it was also by the bias fold. That's an excuse. We don't need excuses. But all you do is just go in and just put another couple of stitches in. So yes, I do recommend these little feet, because when you've got one, you just think, I know, what can I do to use that? Well, if you're like me and you love playing with your sewing machines. So here endeth a Lizzie lesson. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all staying safe. And love you lots. And thank you for your company. I really enjoy it, because I've been housebound for about 6 years. So it's really nice to have people just to chat to, isn't it, actually? And there's me. I apologise to all the kids for saying, you spend far too long on those devices. Lottie know it all. So I apologise for that, because what a good job we've got them now. Anyway, I've got to go. Light's fading. Keep safe. Love you lots. Goodbye.